Hello everyone and welcome to the Mystic Vineyard Block 3. Can you believe we are already 1/3 of the way through our series? So this is the Mystic Vineyard quilt. You are welcome to look at QuiltNCode.com to see if we still have any kits left. I think we have one left. But this is a series that goes along with the quilt. And so we are on Block 3. Let's get started. Block 3 is made up of a whole bunch of half square triangles. But we only have 4 blocks this month, so it is easier than block 2. All right, so I went ahead and pulled all my fabrics, and just like other months, the very first instructions, these are the number 1. These are the fabrics that you're given in your kit, so you don't even need to worry about number 1. And then you've got number 2 that tells you how to cut everything, and we pretty much have 3.5-inch squares for everything. Okay, so then what you're going to do, what I did anyway, is that we have 9 different sets of 1/2-inch squares that we need to do. And so I went ahead and placed them into their lovely piles so that I used up all of the squares that I had cut. And that way I knew that I had done the correct amount. And then I'm going to go through, I'm going to make all of my diagonal lines, and we're going to go to the sewing machine. This is the same technique that we've used in the last 2 blocks to create half square triangles. So I'm going to stitch on either side of my line. And because I have all of them in a nice line, I can do chain piecing all the way through. Now I'm going to do the other side. Once you have gotten all your stitching done, you can just simply cut on your cut line. Then we're going to open them up, and you always want to press toward the dark color. And so I'm going to go ahead and give these a good cut and press, and then we'll trim them all up. Now we need to square each one of these triangles down to a 3-inch. So I am going to use my stripology. The nice thing about the stripology is that I have these lovely diagonals that go with my nice dark line. And so we always want to make sure when we square that we are making sure that that diagonal line is on the diagonal of our triangle. And so we want to make sure that this diagonal line is on that diagonal of our triangle. That is the most important thing about half square triangles. And then my horizontal and my vertical, my horizontal lines are lined up, and I'm going to cut my verticals. And I have a perfect square. So if you don't have a stripology, no problem. You can use any squaring ruler. So this is the Perfect 5 squaring ruler. A little bit more difficult for me, just because I've been using the stripology for quite a while. So what we want to do is we want to do a 3.5-inch square. So the first thing I'm going to do is line up that diagonal line on my Perfect 5. So I have that diagonal line on my Perfect 5 with my diagonal line on my half square triangle, and then I can turn it around, and I'm going to line up the 3.5 vertical and horizontal lines. I mean the 3 horizontal and vertical line right here and here, along with that diagonal line right there, and finish it up. So either way you do it, squaring is essential. You must square these blocks down, and then we'll get to laying it all out. I have now taken all my half square triangles and laid them out in the pattern according to the front of the pattern. I like using this diagram better than I like using this diagram, but when I get stuck, this is the one I go to. All right, so next thing I'm going to do, all of my blocks over here are stacked up and ready to go in the same order. And then what I do is I start by doing 2s. And so I'll stitch along this line right here, and then I'll do the same thing on the other side, and then I'll go to having rows of 4. Let's stitch. I always go back to the pattern so that I can make sure that I am still in the correct order when I pull these 2s out. So now I'm going to do 4 together. Now I've gone back and checked my pattern again just to make sure everybody's in line, and I'm going to turn everything over so that I can press my seams going in opposite directions. So I can start up here, press my seams going in this direction, and that way my seams will nest when I get ready. Go in here and do this one the same direction. Move out of the way. There we go. Turn this around. That way I can get down here. One does not want to go that way. There she goes. All right, so now I can flip these guys back over, make sure I'm still in order, and finish putting this block together. Thank you so much for joining me while we are completing block 3 of this gorgeous quilt. We're 1/3 of the way there. We can do this. Join me next month for block 4. And if you're enjoying this series of videos, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and share these videos. See you next month. Bye, everyone.